Gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, so grateful, grateful, so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, grateful, so grateful, I'm so grateful, so grateful, grateful, so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so very grateful, so blessed, so grateful, grateful. And every day I start my day by saying how I'm grateful, grateful, I'm so grateful. Every day I say grateful when I go to sleep. You are seen, you are heard, you are loved for who you are. You are enough, you are complete, you are love. You are seen, you are heard, you are loved for who you are. You are enough, you are complete, you are love. You are love, you are love, you are love. I am seen, I am heard, I am loved for who I am. There is nothing I need to change. I am love. I am love. I am loved. I am love. I am seen. I am heard. I am loved for You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu es l'image de Dieu.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu es l'image de l'amour.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu sei la luce di Dio.
I hold you in my heart.
Volto dell'amore.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love. The face of love. I hold you in my heart. You in my heart. You are my family. You are my family. You are the face of love. The face of love. You are the face of love. The face of love. I hold you in my heart. You in my heart. You are my family. You are my family. You are the face of love. The face of love. You are the face of God. The face of God. I hold you in my heart. You in my heart. You are a part of me. A part of me. You are the face of God. The face of God. You are the face of God.
Eres la luz de Dios.
I hold you in my heart.
Eres la cara del amor.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face
Tu
of
sei
God.
la luce di Dio.
You are the face of God. The face of God.
Good afternoon. We are absolutely being blessed this day. Information, even the information we don't want to hear, knowing that we need to hear it so that we can take care of ourselves. Thanking Reverend David and absolutely my friend and beautiful lady, Cynthia James. We have with us next just a brilliant woman who has accomplished so very much. And in her accomplishing so much, she has helped so very many. In her workshop that we're about to participate and listen and learn, let's get emotional about money. Reverend Dr. Wilson Coleman will help us to spend some time unraveling and identifying emotions that are in the driver's seat of your finances. So you thought it was all about the numbers? Stephanie's going to help us understand it's more than that. Stephanie Wilson Coleman, PhD, lives her inspiration as the founder and CEO of the Champagne Connection. She is the author of 4 published inspirational books. Her latest book is Creating a Masterpiece from a Master Mess, a must read. She is the host of a popular cable access television show, A Sip of Inspiration. And I've had the fortune of being a guest. It's not only a great time sitting there and learning, but those who watch it learn so much. Through the Champagne Connection, Stephanie, an ordained minister, success mindset mentor, and pranic healing enthusiast, has the uncanny ability to help others transform emotional and mental obstacles into stepping stones to living their dreams. She has an insatiable appetite for assisting others in rethinking the impossible. Her superpower, I love when she talks about it, is transforming lives. With her guidance, teeth rattling, soul shaking experiences vaporize at her command. The Champagne Connection helps others talk about, identify, and work to resolve emotional and often painful behavior and actions that affect their financial health and the financial health of their families. By uncovering the memories that keep others chained to old, worn out stories of failure. Yeah, she helps. She helps. Stephanie helps others embrace the change required to change their lives. Get ready to be blessed. Stephanie Wilson Coleman. Stephanie?
Hi, I'm on. Can you hear me? Success!
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you very much. It is my pleasure to be here, and I got an opportunity to eavesdrop a little bit on the other presenters, and I'm telling you, I did better on my self-care test this time than I've ever done before, so I'm listening and working the other steps that I need to work to. So before we get started, I'll tell you a little bit more about me. I'm Stephanie Wilson Coleman, known as the Empowerment Doctor. I'm also known as the Straight No Chaser Motivator, because I tell you it like it is. When it comes to things that we need to do to change our lives, the opportunity is now and the time is now. So since your only point of power is now, I make sure that you honor those now. So a little bit of my background is in Act 1 of my life, as I called it, I survived rape, sexual molestation. I was a mother at 15, and any day I didn't consider suicide was a good day. I had a basal skull fracture, and they told me I was going to die. Then when I didn't die, they told me I wasn't going to walk or talk. So as you can see, nobody ever knows enough about what you can and cannot do to predict where you're going to go from there. Act 2, of course, wouldn't be Stephanie if I didn't do it all the way, is it was filled with debt, unemployment, which eventually led to homelessness. And I remember as I was trying to figure out where I was going to sleep and eat one night, I said to the universe, if you help me know how to get out of this, I will not come here on this road again. And I've kept my promise. So the next thing to do is, as I went on, I started meeting more and more people who were having the same problems. And I discovered that it wasn't money itself, it's all of the noise around it, all of the emotions around money, and all of the things that we expect for money to do for us that we aren't willing to do for ourselves. So I decided to solve those issues for me. So I'm going to share today some of my techniques that I use and some information that's grounded in science, because I'm big in science, as to what you can do, techniques you can do to change your money story. Your money story is incredibly important, and you're going to find that it is a lot less about money than it is about anything else but what you believe to be true. So now I am going to share my screen so that you guys can follow along with me today. and you'll be able to ask questions in the chat box. And as I like to joke, you don't have to ask questions about yourself. You can ask them about your coworkers or the people you work with or the people that you go to church with too. So they don't have to be about who you are. So I'm going to start at the beginning. I scrolled forward a little bit too far. I do apologize for that. So let's get emotional about money. And when you get emotional about money, one of the things we all discover is that it's complicated. It's not just as simple as having money. So we have this complicated relationship with money. And in this complicated relationship, it is with an item that's not real, in the sense that you can't grow it, you can't cook it, you can't plan it, but we depend on it heavily. We use it, we give it away, we trade it for goods and things that cause us joy and happiness, or so we think they cause us joy and happiness. We even use it to stop suffering. It's money. It makes us happy, sad, and indifferent. So since we've created this strange mindset around money, we have created an experience where we either have an abundance of it or we have a shortage of it. I spent lots of times in my life having a shortage of it. So we have all these hopes and dreams that we want to achieve, and money is usually required for them because virtually everything we do requires money in some form. So imagine my disappointment when I was unable to use money to pay my bills. These are two of my favorite sayings about money. It's like, they say that love is more important than money, but have you ever tried to pay bills with a hug? And the other was, I'm stuck between I need to save money and you only live once. See, our lives are examples of the stories that we're currently living. So you have to ask yourself, are you living a story of joy? A life filled with peace, happiness, laughter, financial abundance? Or are you living a story of fear? A life that's filled with envy, jealousy, persecution, lies, and lacks? Or are you living what I call my favorite story, because I lived on this street a long time, is they done me wrong story? A lot of us live on the they done me wrong story. And what we've learned today is those stories create an energy. And that energy actually affects every area of your life. It generally affects your finances first. And then if you don't take care of it, it will affect your health. Now, I have found in my experience that it's easier to take care of your finances than it is to take care of your health. So I recommend that you start paying attention to those emotions in your money while it's easy to resolve before you create a serious health challenge for you that will take all of your attention. So you say, how do we do that? It's all in a mindset. And as we've learned today, everything is all in your mindset. Everything is all in what you believe to be true. All that you have set up in your life as a set of rules that you're going to live by, as a set of morals and values. Unfortunately, with this mindset, we've given money an incredible amount of power. So we go from sad to indifferent on the drop of a dime. We try to control it. We even try to control people with it. And until we change the way we think about money, we will not be able to make or have or generate as much money as we want to or need to in our lives. So the next thing is, there are a series of mindsets, and two of popular mindsets that are going on today is that there's a scarcity and an abundance mindset. I don't care where you go on the internet, you run into these. And if you run into some that you like, then I suggest that you pay attention to those. Now, Dale is sending, or has made available, a group of workshops or worksheets, because if you work with me, there's going to be some work. I've included that in there. So a lot of people can't identify their mindsets when it comes to money. And so here are some keys. A scarcity mindset looks like this. You believe that your situation is permanent, that no matter what's happening, it's going to always happen and it's never going to change. And then there's that not enough story, or never enough. And you hear people say, I'm not smart enough. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. I didn't get enough sleep. I'm not cute enough, tall enough, short enough, skinny enough, fat enough. It's all that I'm not enough. That's a scarcity mindset. And then there's the overindulgence or instant gratification, where more is better. We eat, we overeat, we overspend, We are trying to keep up with the Joneses and the Kardashians. We buy clothes we don't need, and we fear change. Now, the opposite side of that coin is finding the good in every situation and start to see life as an adventure. So no matter what happens, if you can find the good in the situation and see life as an adventure, then you are living an abundant mindset. And I like to talk about life as an adventure the way you do a vacation. So when you go on vacation, you have a series of things that you want to do. And some of them you have a whole lot of fun, and some of them just don't go well at all. But at the end of the vacation, you're generally left with, we had a great time. So you found the good in every situation. You always have enough, and you know the best is yet to come. And you believe that I'm smart enough, I have enough, I get enough sleep, I have enough time, I have enough money. You enjoy the stuff you have, and you find uplifting, constructive ways to use your time and your money, and you embrace change. Some more are, if you focus on the problem or what went wrong, or you place blame, that's scarcity. If you have to know what happened, who did it, who broke it before you can work on, and why they did it before you can work on a solution, you're looking at the scarcity part of it. Sometimes things just happen for you to be more creative. If you don't have any idea of how much money you spend or make, that's scarcity. And if you use statements like, man, if only I had, that's a scarcity mindset. And you believe that you lose or you win. Now, if you can find a lesson in the situation or the blessing in the situation, that is on the abundance side of the scale. If you use budgeting and other financial tools to achieve goals, you do what you can do with what you have, and you work to create win-win situations, then those are abundant phrasing. You see, money matters, whether we believe it or not. Money matters, whether we pay attention to it or not, but money matters. And money is what I like to say is life's a game, and money is how you keep score. It's how you can manage what your mindset is like, what your beliefs are like, and you can see right away what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. So unlike some other things we do, it won't take you 6 months to know what your mindset is. So the next question I like to ask is, if your money could talk, what would it say? What would it say about your mindset? You see, each financial exchange is a choice you make, and it's a choice that's a powerful statement about who you are and what you believe. So are your financial expenditures consistent with your values? And most people say, yes, they are, but I've got an exercise to help you determine if they really are. See, the power is not in the amount of money. The power is in the action. So one thing I like to have people in my workshops do is to look at an exercise that I've entitled, How Did You Get Here? And we talk about childhood memories. There's a lot of research available that says that all of our financial behaviors are usually learned as children, and most of them are actually inherited from our parents' behavior around money. Some of those common behaviors are your parents never talked about money, they lived miserly, they overspent, they never invested, maybe they were separated or divorced, maybe they just talked about not having enough money. There was never enough money to pay bills, never enough money for their shoes, never enough money. And whenever you wanted something, it was always you had to wait until we have enough money. So we need to figure out which one of those stories is true. Which one of those stories are we living in our current existence right now? So a way to do that is to look at your childhood memories that surround money. And so I ask people to take out a sheet of paper. It doesn't have to be fancy. In the work packet that Dale shared, there is an actual copy of a worksheet that you can use to write on. But think about early childhood memories and give each one a title. Now, one of my earliest childhood memories was there seemed to be enough money when I was with my grandparents. My grandparents actually raised me. But when I spent the weekends with my parents, there was never enough money, never enough money, never enough food, never enough anything. So I grew up with this strange belief about money. So constantly, because I thought, okay, that's going to be enough, and there's not going to be enough. There's going to be enough when I need it. What began to happen to me is I didn't make sure I took care of it. I didn't make sure that I was using money properly. I used it for whatever. So I erred on more, never enough. More is better. So never could have enough shoes, never enough clothes. You had to look good. And that's where I spent money. And then when I married in the first marriage, he had a whole new set of beliefs where they never talked about money either. So imagine our surprise when we were divorced. Imagine my surprise when I didn't have a place to stay because I had misused my money. Another thing you have to ask yourself, though, is that memory accurate? Because over years, what we find is that we don't remember things exactly the way they are. Sometimes we only remember a part of it, such as, oh, we can't get those shoes right now because we've got to pay for lessons for you. That's a little different than you can't have the shoes. So check that memory to see if it's accurate. And you can ask yourself a question is, how would others who were involved in this event remember the event? Do they remember it the same way? So when you do this exercise, you may have to call a friend or a family member to talk about the incident to see exactly what happened. Was there some information that you have forgotten or you left out? And after you've resolved that, what behaviors did you adopt as a result of this? And the next thing is what I call a will of life. Now, most people look at will of life just to see what they need to do in the various categories in their life, but I want you to tie your money to that. Because we spend money on things that we value, but unless we go back and review our expenses over the last 6 to 12 months, we have no idea if we really value the things that we say we value. Now, when I do this, the categories for me, my largest category is tithe. See, one of the things that I did to get out of homeless was to promise that I would tithe 10% gross of everything. So I kept a journal to make sure I did it, to keep myself honest. And then what started to happen was more money was coming in. Money was coming in faster than I could write it down. So when I look over my expenses, I still have honored my tithe commitment. So when you review those expenses and put them in categories, and here's an example of how that would look, and that's in your packet also. Determine how much money you have spent on rent. And this is an exercise that people don't like to do, but then they wonder why they don't have any money or they don't know where their money is going. And then they say things like, you know, Stephanie, I make pretty good amount of money, but I just don't know where it goes. How much do you pay for utilities, food, transportation, entertainment, savings, career, personal development, health, spirituality, friends and family, significant others, and any other categories that you have? You will be surprised as to where you actually spend your money, and where you spend your money will show you what you believe in. It is an eye opener. Then after you do that, I want you to calculate the percent of income. So what's your percent of income of household expenses, entertainment, savings? A lot of people don't save, but they wonder why they don't have anything for emergencies as they occur. And emergencies will occur. If you're not a tither, I encourage the practice, because I have learned that the universe gets us 10% one way or the other. You either give it willingly, or if you go back and add up all of the accidents or all of the unanticipated expenses you have, you would have tithed 10% of your income. So I say give it willingly instead of going kicking and screaming. Then after you do that, in the will of life, jot down what that category is. And then I want you to go back to your emotional state. When you pay your house note or your rent, how do you feel? Do you feel energized? Or is it a neutral emotion? Do you feel drained? Were you bored? Because a lot of times entertainment, fun, and leisure comes because we're bored. Or was it just retail therapy, which used to be a big one for me? It's like, got stuff on my mind and I've got retail therapy to do. And then as you're buying stuff with your money, because your money is listening, you're talking about all of the things that have gone wrong and how this new outfit's going to make you feel better. What do you think your money is hearing? It is hearing all the things that have gone wrong. So the next thing is percent of income. So how does that look? People generally know that they need to put aside money for retirement, tithe, but often we don't understand that there are other things that we need to do. So a basic plan is 50% of your expenses need to go to your basic needs. That's house, utilities, and the things that you need, transportation. 10% should go to retirement, because after you've taken care of yourself, learned to love yourself, exercise, you've eaten better, you're meditating, you're doing all the things, you're saying no when you need to say no, and yes to what you need to say yes to, you're going to live a long time. So you need to be prepared for that. So you need to prepare for retirement. You do need to tithe. There's a minister, Reverend Evelyn Boyd, says it's the rent you pay for the space you take up on earth. You need to tithe. You need to have a savings for major purchases. A lot of times, if we just start now, you know you're going to want a washing machine or a new refrigerator. Start saving for that so that you can pay cash for it as opposed to using credit cards. Because when you pay cash, you have major negotiating power. And often we don't understand that because we don't have cash. And then you use 20% to pay down debt. Paying down debt is a big thing. There are a lot of examples online that you can use that will help you pay down debt. One of them is the snowball effect, and you can do it two ways. One is list all of your debts, the interest rates, and the amounts, and start to pay down the one with the highest interest rate. So you would pay the minimum on everything except that one with the highest interest rate, and then you would pay more on that. When it's paid, then you would take the money that's freed up from that debt and apply it to the next one. Or you can, it will take you about 36 months to pay that off if you do it that way. But if you flip it, like some people like to do, and that is the one with the lowest balance first, leading down to the highest balance and paying that lowest balance off, that gives you a psychological boost, and it gives you the energy that you're going to need to continue that plan. So either one you choose is okay. You choose what's best for you, but do choose something. Now, as you do this exercise and you tie your expenses to your values, to what's important to you, I want you to ask yourself, are there any surprises? When I first did this exercise, I was really surprised about there was no plan in the way I spent money to save money. But then I didn't have any money to save because I was living out of every dime. So I came up with a plan for that. So my plan was, I may not be able to do it now, but every increase in pay I got or any extra money I got, I saved that. So to this day, I live out of the same take-home money that I lived out of 20 years ago. So it can be done. So, and as you look at this, ask yourself, which one of these categories would you like most to improve? What changes should you make first? And is there one key action you should take first? A lot of times taking a step toward improvement seems like work, because what we have done for years is train the brain and the body to do one particular thing a certain way. As if you probably know, if you go to work the same way, if you drive, sometimes you don't even remember the way. So you're used to that. So what you're asking the brain and the body to do is to do something different, to make a change. So I asked you to start with small steps. And then that way you can get started, but get started. What's the small step? So looking over your finances for the next 6 to 12 months sounds like a daunting task, but start looking over your finances just for the month of February. You don't have to do 6 months at one time. The goal is 6 months, but you don't have to get there today. Because you could, if you look at your expenses just for the current month, that's going to give you some information also that you were not aware of. It's sort of like starting a meditation practice or an exercise routine. Maybe you want to start with planning what the routine is, how the routine is going to look. Then maybe you want to start literally getting dressed. One example I use is I hike about 25 miles a week now, and that went from 0 hiking or walking at all. And I started with just 15 minutes. And I was amazed how soon I got up to the miles that I do now. And I don't have to make myself do it now. They're calling me. My miles are calling me. My feet and my mind is calling me. So it's a habit now. So start small, but do start. Change your mindset and change your life. And I know you guys have been hearing that all afternoon, but that is so true. And we're going to start by changing our mindset and changing our life by burying the I don't have enough, I'm not worthy, and if only I had beliefs. They got to go. Okay. So I have an easy exercise, and I know everyone says, easy, this is not easy at all, but actually it is easy. And when you do it, set aside some time for yourself where you can have some quiet, where no one interrupts. And if you live in an environment where people interrupt you all the time when you're doing this kind of work, I have learned that people do not interrupt you if you're saying you're in prayer. So tell the people you're in prayer and they won't bother you. Here's an exercise that I like to have the people, my clients that I work with do to bury the I don't have enough syndrome. Start by making a list of what you can do with what you have. See, that, as I said earlier, the idea is to get started because that's the hardest part for any goal. So when you look at that, pay down your debt to be debt free, no one did that in 24 hours. Everyone did that over a period of time, unless they were wealthy, of course. They did it over a period of time. So you're going to do this over a period of time. So I want you to look at your current situation. And one that a lot of people like to talk about is I don't have any savings. And then we talk about, well, what resources you need, or what do you want? Well, I need extra income. Well, the idea or the answer may not be extra income right away. The answer may possibly be reducing your current cash flow. And then people ask, well, how do I do that? Because that seems to be difficult. I pay for what I have to pay for in the grocery store, and it just costs so much. And then the latest thing is everything is getting so high since the pandemic. So you've already gone through your expenses by now, so you can start doing some elimination, right where you are with the money you have. We have been told over and over and over to protect our immune system. And one way we can protect our immune system and reduce our current cash flow is to eliminate anything you drink other than water. So if you drink sodas, if you drink energy drinks or any of that, eliminate it, drink water. And if you believe that the energy drinks are giving you more energy and it's energy you need, an orange will do the same thing. A glass of cold water will actually awaken you so that you can have energy also. So stop drinking anything other than water. And if you buy water, bottled water, get a Brita system to where you can clean your own water and stop buying the bottled water. Make your own coffee at home and carry it with you. Turn off lights and unplug appliances when they're not in use. If it's plugged into a socket, it is costing you money. It is actually increasing your electricity and or your gas bill, so unplug it. Review your cell phone bills, because I have found that that's a big one. We are paying for more cell phone data than we use. Your cell phone company can tell you just how much data you use, and then you look at how much you're paying for and reduce it to what you actually use. You'll be surprised at the amount of savings. Another thing is, what about the plan? So are you on the proper plan for the amount of phone calls you make even, or text messages? Go over that bill, and they often like to add additional charges without letting you know. So you need to go over those bills monthly. If you're on auto pay, you still need to go over your bill. So you'll have an opportunity to make sure that you check charges on those bills that have just occurred that you did not authorize. Do the same thing with your credit card statements too, and your bank statements, because hackers have a tendency of putting small amounts through your bank account or your credit card statements, because they know nobody balances their checking account or their bank statements or their credit card statements. And you will be surprised at the errors that you will find. Then with that money that you are saving there, use it to establish a savings account. In the grocery store, take a list. Don't buy it if it's not on the list. Collect coupons. Make sure that you're getting the best price for it. Look at the different stores in your area, and if you have to make several trips, buy it at the cheapest price and buy enough to carry you for a while at that price. Set a savings goal. Making a savings goal signals the universe that you're ready for more money. The recommended amount is 10%, and you need to save in dollar terms 6 to 12 months of your expenses. So if you have an emergency, you have enough money on hand to help you with the emergency, such as if you find yourself suddenly out of work, you have enough cash to carry you until you can figure out your next step. Set a goal to be debt-free, because debt keeps us in agreements that are not fulfilling. And when you're buying things, you're feeling wonderful, but when that bill comes and all of a sudden it's in thousands of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars, you're no longer feeling fulfilled. Watch your conversations. I want you to think about what you talk about. Are they filled with lack, limitation, or not having enough of anything? Because a lot of times we say, gosh, that electric bill is more than I expected. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm going to pay it. You know you're going to pay it. You're going to pay it. So instead of talking about that, why don't you just pick up a phone and talk to the people, customer service rep, go all the way to the manager if you have to get a payment plan. Your words are more powerful than you know, and not only is your body listening, but your money is listening too. A recent study showed that Americans are satisfied with 90% of their lives. That is tremendous. However, we spend 90% of our time talking about 10% of our life that is not going well. I want you to change your conversations to what's going well in your life, because that is really going to be the catalyst to help you make these changes when you change that conversation. Also, along with that, you're going to change your conversations about other people, because you're going to stop talking about other people. You're going to talk about the good things. You're going to share the good things. You're going to share the good things that you've learned. You're going to share your dreams, your hopes, and your desires. You're going to share your successes. And even if you don't have anybody to share them with, you're going to share them in a journal so that you can remember them. The next tip is opportunities. Look for the opportunities in a bad situation by asking yourself, what opportunity does this situation present, and what has become clear to me? When you look and ask the situation, what opportunity does this situation present, you will then begin to get ideas from that opportunity. The opportunities in any bad situation occurred because there was some additional information that the universe needed you to know. And that was the method to send it to you, because that was the only way it could get your attention. Now that it has your attention, write down that opportunity and remember it. And write down what you learned, because we learn a lot of valuable lessons in those kinds of situations. And I don't want you to forget the lesson, because I don't want you to have to recreate the situation in order to learn what it is that you needed to learn. Then there's two of my superpowers. I call them our superpowers, and that's gratitude and forgiveness. Daily list 3 to 5 things in which you are grateful for in a gratitude journal. Now, that journal can be online, on in a computer program, It can be on paper, but I want you to actually list them. When you list them, you actually relive them. And since the body and the mind doesn't really know the difference, we're recreating that experience all over again. And not only that, if you actually put them in a computer program, I use Google Docs, at the end of the year, you'll be surprised how many great things happened in your life that you simply forgot about. Write a gratitude letter also to someone who's had a positive influence on your life or that has helped you in beneficial ways. You can send a card, you can send a letter, you can send an email. I wouldn't do a text. I want you to spend some real time in the media where that person can enjoy it, and you're going to relive it also. Become an active listener in the conversations that you're in with people. Listen, and don't just listen for when you can speak again. Listen to what the person is saying, and be sure to give out compliments whenever you have an opportunity to. Apologize to people who have caused harm and forgive those who have harmed you. Now, we're really pretty good at forgiving, of a forgiveness practice, and forgiving, asking for forgiveness and asking to be forgiven. But the actual action of apologizing to people that we have caused harm, where we actually reach out to that person and say, you know, I apologize for what I said. I could have said it better. I meant this and not that. That is something that we shy away from. And when you reach out to apologize to the people in an actual conversation or in a letter, if that's the only way you feel safe to do it, you'll be surprised how that will actually loosen up all of that negative energy that's binding you to that experience. I believe that without gratitude and forgiveness, it is virtually impossible to improve your financial life. So those are practices that are superpowers that I think that will help you get through just about anything in life. The next thing is reduce social media consumption. So when I ask people to do gratitude lists, forgiveness lists, they say, I don't have time. But if you scroll their Facebook pages or Instagram pages, they're all in those social media making comments about what other people should do and how they should do it. So free up some time and just reduce the social media consumption. If you need to know anything about money, you need to ask someone with money. You need to see financial planners, and that's where you get your information from. When you are detached from social media, you'll be able to increase your creativity because you're making room for the ideas that are already trying to get your attention to actually get your attention. And it allows you to set focus for the day without being distracted. So, but if you have to go to social media, don't do it first thing in the morning. Make sure you finish your meditation or whatever your morning prayer ritual is. Make sure you finish that before you open or reach for your phone. And reducing social media consumption has proven to actually reduce your stress levels. And again, I want you to look for the positive in every loss. And I want you to celebrate your successes so that you can see that there is actually no loss ever. There is only something to gain. If something leaves your life, it's because there's something else ready for you. Then I want you to do a wealth journal. I have fun with this one. I started this one several years ago, and it's incredible what I learned about myself. So I do 2 journals. One of them in the morning, it's just random thoughts, what's going on in my mind. And it's quite comical of what's going on in my mind. Some mornings I wonder how many people are in there. But the wealth journal also allows me to sit down and answer the questions like, what money problems in my life do I want to solve? I write that down. What negative or scarcity beliefs have stopped me from solving these problems until now? I write those down. And next to the beliefs, I write out, are those true? Because sometimes I think there are problems that are stopping me, and people think there are problems that are stopping them, and they're simply not true. But we have just believed them so long till we think they're not true. And then write down any insights that have been revealed as a result of the time that you've spent, the 5 or 10 minutes in a wealth journal. And there is a copy also of the wealth journal in the packet that you received. The next thing you have to remember is you've got to take action on all of your dreams. I don't care what they are, but you really have to take action on your money dreams. You may have an abundant mindset, but if you don't start taking action on your dreams, nothing will change. Abundance plus action equals dreams become reality. So your dreams are waiting for you right now. And now for the $1 million question. What are you going to do with your life? Are you going to start taking action on your dreams? Are you going to start taking control of your destiny? Because there is an amazing future out there just waiting for you to seize it. And if you apply these principles toward the use and the handling of your money, you will find that you will be able to unleash that millionaire consciousness in you that is keeping that millionaire inside. I have a few jokes that I like to share because I think that when you talk about money, people think it's so heavy. So these are some of my favorites. Too many people spend money they haven't earned to buy things they don't want to impress people they don't like. Money is better than poverty if only for financial reasons. And all I ask is the chance to prove that money can't make me happy. I've never been in a situation where having money made it worse. So with that, if there are any questions, I will gladly take them.
Okay, thank you. Stephanie, are you there? That's good.
I'm here.
Oh,
And
good.
here's just my contact information. I'm here.
I didn't see that. You were fabulous as always. The contact information is up there. And if you have any questions, please write the question in the Q&A so that we can get it out. We just got a lot of information. And the first question that came up, okay, you asked for it. How long did it take to dig yourself out of a hole?
So my hole was really deep. So after my first divorce, my husband stole my identity and left me in $65,000 worth of debt. And I didn't have a place to stay. So I ended up relocating to Chicago, taking a job that's just a little bit over minimum wage. So I started with tithing. So I tithed like you would, I tithed. Somebody gave me $1, I was tithing 10% of that. And as a result of that, it took me 4 years to get out of all of that debt and literally to become financially independent. So today I'm still financially independent. But the decision I made at that part is when I took that first job is I got to a point where I could pay bills. From that point on, I worked on paying my debt down, and every increase in income I got from that point forward, I saved.
I have a question because we've been hearing this discussion about forgiveness and gratitude, and you lifted it up we've heard it dealing with our emotional health and our physical health, and now our financial health. It sounds theological, but I'm going to ask you to talk about that a little bit more. Why does forgiveness and gratitude, what's the connection with money?
So money is energy. That's all it is. And you create it according to how you feel about yourself, about who you are, and about your life. You create everything like that. So what I have found is when I'm not harboring any ill feelings against anyone, then the energy space that my heart and mind are taking up in that unforgiveness space is released. And then I have more time and energy, because holding on to things I found for me, because I would keep everybody in a mental jail. So when I let them out of this mental jail, and actually started forgiving people from my first husband from stealing my identity and taking money. And it was a hard process because I literally started with, if he does not get hit by a truck or die, swallow on a chicken bone, I'm going to forgive him. And I did finally get to just, I forgive him. And I found that it was actually a release. I could feel the energy being released from my body and my mind. So now I just had a joy. I can't explain it. I just had a joy. So when I had that joy, whenever I approached a project, the joy just went with me. I was now open to ideas that would come through, all because I was able to forgive. I was just open to the ideas, and ideas were just coming from everywhere. They still do, okay? I go outside now and say hi to a tree. Literally, I swear, the tree says, you need to add this to that. Why don't you think about this? You ought to do, I swear, they come from everywhere, okay? So that's what forgiveness does, is it lightens your spirit. And then not only that, Ernest Holmes, we have to remember, he says that when you have true understanding, there is no need to forgive. So I had to forgive my husband for things that I was responsible for. You know, I stayed in a relationship too long. I knew I was there too long. I should have left, but I was going to make him love me or make him make me feel worthy. So I had to get over myself, I guess. Okay. And then the gratitude is, when you're grateful, there's all kinds of statistics on this. People who practice gratitude regularly make 10 or 11% more money than the people who don't. So if you want an instant raise in pay, just start finding the good things. And it comes in ways. So to look on the bad says no. But there's nothing in this world that is impossible, and you have got to believe that, because I had a near-death experience. I had a basal skull fracture. I was told I was going to die. I did not die. So the one thing the universe proved to me is that nothing is impossible. Nothing. So I just started being grateful for everything. And because I asked to achieve big dreams, I didn't know what I didn't know until I didn't know what I didn't know. So the situation simply taught me what I didn't know. So I just frame it differently. It's like, okay, this happened. Didn't expect that, but now I know. So next time my plan is different. But when I'm grateful, I don't get stuck in things like, I lost a job. I remember I survived a basal skull fracture. Only 4% of people who have basal skull fractures survive. I remember that. I remember all the good things that have happened to me. I remember a loving family. I remember just peace, just having finally a home. I was homeless. So maybe because my experiences have been so intense, it's easy for me to find gratitude. And when you do that, people like to work with you. They like to be with you. They like to be in your corner, because you only can make money through projects or people. And if people don't like you because they don't like your energy, because you remember that energy goes before you. You all know it. You've seen people cross the street and you went the other way because it didn't feel good. So if that gratitude gives you that energy where people just like to work with you.
So you really just did a great job of incorporating our principles, and what you do all the time, the money and how that works together. There's a question here or a statement. I have the problem, so does my brother, of working in jobs that are below our abilities.
Okay, so I've worked several jobs below my ability, but my mindset is, this job is here to teach me something that I need. Not only that, because it's below your ability, you actually have now the mental space to decide what you want to, where you want to go and what you want to do. So what I did in those jobs is I did the best job that I could do, because I remember Bill Gates saying the most important thing that happens is what you're doing right now in this moment. So you do that job to your best ability, and you're there to learn something. Sometimes the reason you're there is because somebody in that workspace needs your light and needs to feel your energy so they can survive and overcome what they're going to. It is not always about us. It is about where God put you, where the universe put you, so someone else could feel some sunshine. And just know, I would go to work and I would literally bless everybody there. And I would, in my mind, bless you, bless you, bless you, bless you. I'd see myself giving them roses. And I would go in and do a job that I was totally overqualified for. It did not take long before jobs started finding me, literally. I went on an interview once, didn't like the job because it was in the suburbs. I didn't want to travel an hour. Came back, that guy called me back later and said, we moved downtown, would you come now? And by the way, how much money do you want to make? I says, what does it pay? What do you want to make? It's because you have got to remember that your job is to see the best where you are, trust the universe to get you where you want to go, but you got to know where you want to go and be the light for the person that's around them, because somebody needs your light or you would not be there. And they needed the way you give it, because that's why God chose you.
That what you just said, those 3 points: see the best, trust, and be the light.
Right.
Where's your? You think that needs to be up on one of these slides? That was good. That was good. Stephanie, we want to thank you. The connection of financial health, caring for self, and what you have taught us, it's connected. We are one, and all of our experiences reflect our being in alignment or our choosing to do something other than that. And you're that last piece that because you talked a couple of times, I was going to lift this up and then we're going to move on and release you and let you enjoy the concert with Karen. But your reference that when something difficult happens, to see the good, it's not don't label that bad, but to see that's new thought theology that will help us be financially stable.
Right.
Yeah.
Another thing I need to add though about the money, people ask me about money. If you're not doing right by the money you have now, if the universe can't trust you to tithe what you're making now, it can't trust you to tithe if it gave you more money either. So you need to get real about that too. So if you're not saving money now with what you make, you're not going to be able to save money when you have more money. Because you can't tithe and save money out of your poverty. You can't do it in your prosperity either, because it's about discipline.
Ooh, wee. Thank you for that ribbon on the packet. We will thank you. Please know that we are grateful that your message has been heard, and all of us will absolutely look at what am I doing and how can I do it better. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome. I love you guys. You guys have a great evening. I'm going to enjoy Karen. I listen to her all the time.
Yes, absolutely. And I would invite everyone, we will be going into our evening inspirational service with Karen Drucker live. We will have a brief break before that time. And if you have not had the opportunity, now is a perfect opportunity to donate and to donate to INTA, the organization that is producing and presenting this conference, the organization that exists so that the world, as it said in our, I think it's one of our statements, every member of the human family can know what new thought, to know the truth principles, to live by those principles. And your support will absolutely help that to become a reality. So there are several ways to give. You can click the link in the chat box. You can donate go to the website, newthoughtevents.org. That's the event website, and click on donate, or go to our website. And then, or you can use PayPal using info@newthoughtalliance.org. And there's always the old-fashioned way, which works just fine. Mail a check to INTA 5003 East Broadway Road, Mesa, Arizona 85206. Get a drink of water or whatever, come back. We will have a wonderful prayer by Dr. J, a brief opening, then we'll go into an inspirational service with Karen Drucker's absolutely making us feel wonderful, a nice way to close off today. See you in a few minutes.